subsequent bulletins, so please do stick to KTN. Moving on, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has issued a cessation notice to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, urging him to desist from making utterances that are likely to undermine harmonious and peaceful coexistence of different ethnic communities within the country. The move follows the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's remarks regarding Chief Justice Mombasa Road's wars. The remarks were made on Sunday, February 23rd in Igembe North within Meru County. According to NCIC, Gachagua's utterances were meant to stir up the emotions of a section of members of the Ameru community. Right, now following that letter there from the NCIC, let's now link up with Danvas Makori, a commissioner at the NCIC, on the same via phone. Danvas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for creating time for us here on KTN. Let's get right into it. Now, what are some of the dangers or threats that come about with such utterances as we head to the 2027 general elections?
Thank you very much. You see, given the history of our country, it is very easy when leaders from either parts of the political divide target or their main aim is to stir up a specific community in anger, because there's always a polarizing issue. So when you have an issue and then the polarizing aspect of it is ethnic-based, or mobilization is ethnic-based. And of course, you can easily take us back to where we've come from as a country. And as a commission, we always say that we have a legal role and more responsibility to make sure that that line is never crossed. So we caution, we make it public that if an official or somebody crosses that line is about to, then we can either summon or do what we've done to the former Deputy President and just issue that caution.
All right, and should anyone not heed to that particular warning, what is the next course of action?
Well, actually, he's actually under investigation, to be very frank, and the context of that is what this isn't the first, and the series of, or a number of times or instances, reference to a community or communities have been made. And especially beginning late last year, I think it was in Naivasha, and that particular actually incident is in an investigation, and that's why we've not really concluded it. That's why we couldn't take any specific action. But we're seeing an increase of him in reference to, and it's just a cautioning. We say, listen, if you don't do this, next time he does it, then naturally we'll take action and issue summons or even an arrest, so that at least it can be an example to him and the rest of the people. It's position from both sides that we don't. You can, if there's an issue, then address the issue based on the merits of the issue, not to target or stir up ethnic communities' anger, so that you can rally them around a specific issue. That's not really responsible leadership.
All right, and perhaps is Gachagua the only one in your radar, or are there other investigations?
No. Actually, if you remember, a few weeks ago, there was a list of leaders, and actually, if you look at that list, it was both sides. It was him, it was some from his side, some from the other side. That actually we stay there and investigation. So it's in both sides, because it's not just him. It's leaders that can be responsible on either side. So we just cautioning and appealing to all leaders that first of all, just be responsible as a leader. We are a country, we ought to be addressing issues. So it's issue-based politics. We don't have to mobilize people based on the ethnic groups or regions they come from. Just being responsible. Now, are there regional issues? Of course, yes, but it is issues based on policy. So address policy issues. If it's a political issue, be political. If it's a legal issue, then address it from a legal angle. If it's a technical issue, address it from a technical issue, that without stirring up ethnic emotions of a particular community or a region for that matter.
All right, Danvas, before letting you go, perhaps are there any challenges that you face when dealing with such cases of high-profile persons in the country?
On one hand, the legal framework puts a very high standard, because people are always accusing us, all NCIC is not doing anything. In reality, the fact is that the threshold for hate speech is quite high. So there's no point of arresting an individual and he's not met the threshold. So on one point, you can only issue warnings. And then there's a due process, so you have to complete the investigation before you take steps. And sometimes they're lengthy and they're complex investigations, and sometimes want you to do it right now. Then you to arrest somebody, then they're released on bond the next day by court, and you look like a responsible commission. So given the framework, legal framework we're operating under, and which we are seeking amendments from Parliament to address that specific issue, there will always going to be that challenge. Also, tendency to understand the legal framework and matters legal, so that they're not quick to say, "Oh, it's not doing anything," because we can only do what is legal. We cannot do extrajudicial aspects, and we're accused of breaking the law to enforce the law to begin with.
All right. Yeah. That is Danvas Makori there. Danvas, thank you so much for creating time for us here on KTN News Desk. Just speaking more on the utterances that are being made here and there by politicians and also other leaders as we head to the 2027 polls, saying that we should take precautions because we don't want to create ethnic profiling as we head to the elections. Thank you so much, Danvas there.